Shut up, idiot! Moron! Scab eater! Butt sniffer! Pus licker! Fart smeller! You bob for apples in the toilet! And you like it! You play ball like a girl!
On today's episode, we discuss our favorite sports movie of all time. He's Jay.
Yeah.
I'm Alan. That's Ben.
Three bros with three opinions, all about movies.
This is Movie Japs.
Let's go.
Okay, so
Yeah.
favorite movies of all time that relate to sports.
Forever.
We all love sports. There's one guy here who probably loves them more than the rest of us.
That's me.
The big old Italian stallion there on that end. And
I like that nickname,
due to the
by the
fact that he is the ultimate
very
sportsman,
original.
we're gonna let him go first.
All right, so in 1989, okay? The
Great-
Cuyahoga
great
Kids,
year.
Geronimo's Tribe, the Cleveland Indians had a movie about them.
They did.
Major League.
They did.
Major League, starring Charlie Sheen and a young Wesley Snipes, both of them young back then.
Yeah.
Great movie. Basically, the owner of the Cleveland Indians dies. They leave the team to his young wife, who wants to tank the team, get their attendance below 800,000 to be able to move the team to Miami. So she hires a bunch of players who are no good, two walk-ons who weren't even invited to camp, Charlie Sheen and Wesley Snipes, end up making the team, and they find out from one of the coaches that the plan is to be as terrible as possible so they can move the team.
But it doesn't go as planned, does it?
Doesn't. They actually rally around that, and they end up winning the division.
Yep.
And it's just a great movie. It's hilarious. Charlie Sheen is just he couldn't throw a pitch to strike to save his life at the beginning of the movie.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
They found out he was basically like blind, so they put
Right.
some glasses on him. Then he can finally
Big
throw
old
strikes.
thicky glasses.
Willie Mays Hayes is faster than hell, but can't hit to save his life.
Those glasses with that tape, iconic.
Oh, it's just
Iconic.
it's great. The song Wild Thing.
Oh.
I mean, that's like an iconic song now because
When
of him
when that comes on,
coming
you
out.
think of him walking to the mountain.
Ricky Vaughn coming out to the
Yeah.
mountain.
You can't see it, but the back of his head, he has the
Get your
exact
hand on my
same
face.
haircut.
The exact same haircut.
same
That's
haircut.
what I rock 99% of the time now.
Yeah.
Oh, 99? That's a good number.
So your favorite
Glad you
part
picked
about-
that up.
What's
I got
what's
it.
the best? So this is obviously a comedy. What is the funniest part of this movie for you?
Honestly, I think Bob Euchre, who plays Harry Doyle,
Yeah.
he is his drops from the booth are just the fun. He just lies the whole time. That and Randy Quaid, the outfield, he sits behind left field, who just screams nonstop.
Yeah, heckles the crap out of him.
Oh, he heckles everybody.
I think the booth is.
He's the best. It goes back and forth.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
booth-
it's a good movie.
the booth to me
As
kills
far
it.
as as far as comedy movies
Dynamite
go for
Drop-In.
sports, it is the top. It is the top tier of
Yeah.
sports comedy. I mean, there's nothing better than that. There's
Yeah.
nothing better than that.
It is
All right.
really good.
It's a great comedy and a good
It's a good
Feel-good story
It's a
at
good
the
all-around
end.
flick too, though.
And
It is.
It's got a lot of good jokes.
Well, the thing is you know how much that movie was made for?
Oh,
It had an $11 million budget.
that's it.
Shut up.
11.
11.
11.
I mean,
1-1.
1-1. It only made like $50 million in the box office, but this is one of those movies that
Cold following.
didn't get popular until after
yeah.
it hit theaters, and obviously now everybody's seen Major League.
Oh, yeah,
Every time it comes
absolutely.
on,
Multiple
everybody
times,
watches it.
yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So that movie's probably made compared to what the 11 million that it came out, it's probably made
Probably
15, 20 times what it's.
Oh,
Sold,
easily,
yeah.
easily. Yeah,
Definitely.
and it's definitely my favorite comedy sports movie of all time.
Is it?
and it's
For sports, yeah.
and it's for
Comedy-wise?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
for all
yeah,
ages.
definitely.
You can sit down with
have
your kids
no
and you can watch it.
marbles.
You know, you have no manners.
You can sit down with your kids and watch that too.
Oh, my
It's-
kids would love it.
It's a movie for
Yeah,
all
my
ages.
kids would love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. Great choice.
It's
Great
a-
choice.
it's-
I would
my
say
favorite movie.
Also, maybe Kingpin. though.
Great choice. So, Alan,
Yes.
what you got?
I'm gonna go next. All right. So I'm gonna stick with the theme and also go with a little bit of baseball. I'm not considered the baseball
love the baseball
guy,
theme.
but Moneyball blew me away.
Oh, Billy Bean.
Little
Good
Brad,
old-
Brad Pitt.
Good old Billy, yeah. Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, and I will say I feel
Odd
like
pairing.
Odd pairing.
Odd pairing.
Worked very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like Jonah is underrated. Not in this movie, but I'm saying in general. I feel like he's seen more of a comedy role.
Well, you go from super bad to try to do something serious. It's a little tough.
It is,
A little
but
tough
yeah,
to shake
he-
that super bad.
I think he killed this movie.
yeah, it's
he
good.
They're good.
It's good.
So I mean, I know you've seen it. So you're obviously a
yeah,
baseball
yeah.
guy.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Billy Bean, he actually was a player.
True story.
He was a player in the major leagues. He was highly recruited to high school.
It's a 5-tool player when he was
Five-tool player.
drafted.
So what does 5-tool mean? You want to give us a 5-tool? It's hitting, fielding, throwing. And what's we're missing? Is it running?
It's running and then your ability to know the game.
Okay, so those I guess
Intellectual.
he had those 5 tools, and every scout said that he's a can't miss prospect. You're gonna hit a home run with them, right?
So what you're saying is basically everything Alan lacks.
Yes.
Okay.
Allen would
Yeah.
be a 0-tool
All right.
recruit.
All right,
I feel like maybe a 1 or 2.
Okay. Well,
But-
keep lifting and you'll get maybe 1.
Yeah, you'll get there.
But anyway, so he ends up being drafted by the Mets in the first round. He skips college, so all he has is a high school degree, and he ends up being a bust. Billy, that is. So Brad goes at the movie, and basically he is trying to find his niche. So he ends up being the GM for the Oakland A's.
Yeah, I think he started out as a scout.
He
But-
started once he quit in '89. He started as a scout, but then he ends up being there. I think you said
Yeah,
at,
he's-
at that time he was the youngest GM.
Yeah. I think
And-
ever.
Yeah, ever. So he's trying to win the World Series on a very, very low budget. I think their budget at that time was $39 or $41 million.
Because they're a small market team.
Very
They're not
small.
the Yankees or Boston who can
Compared to the
spend
Yankees
$200
budget,
million
which-
a year.
which I think at that time their budget was 112.
Okay.
So he's going up against pretty much three times his budget, and he's winning adjustment of games. So he's doing this by going basically by the numbers.
We're gonna shake things up. Why don't you walk me through the board?
I believe there's a championship team that we can afford because everyone else undervalues them, like an island of misfit toys.
Yeah, it's following the stats.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's an analytics guy. And he was the
pioneered
first
it.
of his time to
Yeah.
be an analytics guy.
So the whole movie he's battling.
Stats matter.
He's battling his decision to go by stats instead of the old ways of pretty much doing baseball.
Yeah, like the
The
field.
way baseball's been done for 100,
Right.
100 plus years.
And the rest of the scouts and the rest of the people in the organization were not.
the
Yeah, they
only
were
person,
not a fan of
the
that.
only person backed him was the owner, and that's the only one he
Yeah,
needed.
well,
Right?
the owner kind of has to because he's his
Well,
GM. He hired him.
Exactly. It's kind of like I'm going down with the ship.
Yeah, you have to.
Well, basically, they end up going to the playoffs 2 consecutive years. Don't make it to the World Series. He ends up getting a job offer by the Red Sox. I think at that time it was like $12.5 million.
Yeah, he
It would have
declined
made him.
that.
It would have made him the highest paid GM at that time. He declined it to go back with the A's because he wanted to win a championship there. And then basically the Red Sox won a title. I think it was 2 years later, but it was using his system.
He literally changed the game. He changed
did,
the way
he
it's
did.
done.
Yep.
Exactly.
And that's why they made the movie about him.
Yep.
And it was a good movie. Brad Pitt was awesome. Jonah Hill was funny.
Yep.
I mean, even though, it's not
It
supposed
was,
to be.
it was
Yeah.
a serious role, but he was still funny.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
agree.
There's like certain guys that like you just know as like funny guys
Yeah.
that they'll make like normal kind of stuff just funny. I think Jonah
Right,
Hill's kind of one of
exactly,
those guys.
I think Fat Jonah Hill kills
Yeah,
it.
the fatter he is, the funnier he is.
Fat Jonah Hill is always funny.
There's something about like fat guys who get skinny that are just not as funny.
I agree.
Yeah, that's why I'm staying thick.
Big old thicky.
Big old 3 C's thick. All right, Ben. What do you got for us?
All right, so I'm kind of
Bring it in. Bring it in.
I'm taking a different route. I'm not picking baseball. I'm not picking football. I'm not picking soccer. I'm not picking
This is gonna be a dud.
golf. Nope, not a dud. Not a dud.
Curling.
Curling, great sport. Not picking that. But
Hockey.
we should make a movie about that. Nope, I'm picking an MMA movie. MMA,
All right.
mixed martial
I think I know
arts.
what you're talking about. Okay.
Warrior.
Yeah, that's
See, if you're gonna go fighting, you could go on Rocky. But
Yeah, I
you
could have
just
gone
botched
Rocky,
it.
but that's an obvious choice. It's an obvious choice. I want to
Great
pick
movie, though.
something. I want to pick something that's a great movie
or The Fighter. With the
all
Marky
around.
Mark.
That's another great movie, but that's more of a Hollywood blockbuster, like drama, sappy, been there, done that kind of thing. And it was still a good movie. But I wanted to pick a movie that was more gritty, a movie that was more. I don't want to say the word underground, but you know what I mean. Not so well known.
Can I tell you why I picked your movie?
Why?
It's got a comic book character in it with Tom Hardy. Plays
Exactly.
Venom, right?
I knew it was
dude,
Tom. It was
there-
Tom
there it is.
Hardy.
Well,
There it is.
Yeah.
Actually, not Venom. He also plays Bane, which I'm going to talk about here.
You just see. Of course he is. You put it together.
I'm going to talk about it here. So, Warrior came out in 2011. And the reason why I picked this movie is not just because it's a sports movie. It's a great movie altogether. the character development in this is phenomenal. The way that they wrote this script and put the pieces together for these two characters, and the two characters being Tommy, played by Tom Hardy, who's a former Marine, deserted the Marines, changed his name, started using his mom's name so that way he wouldn't get arrested. He's got terrible PTSD, and he saw his entire unit get killed, so he's kind of screwed up in the head. And then he's got a brother named Brendan, played by Joel Egerton. Guy's a great actor. He needs to get some more roles. Joel Egerton, he's a really good actor. So his role in this, he's his brother, but he's a school teacher, former MMA fighter.
Former wrestler too. Like, wasn't he?
Much different size comparison. Tommy, much bigger. Brendan, more of like the lean guy. But so
like being
Brendan
this
is
guy.
struggling. The character development in this is great because Brendan's married. He's a teacher. He's not making much money. His daughter gets sick, has open heart surgery. He has to refinance his house to try to pay for her open heart surgery. So he's broke. He's flat broke. And so you got Tommy on one end who's suffering because he's got PTSD, running away from the Marines. He has no money. And then you got Brendan who's struggling to raise his family. And they're brought together by their father, played by Nick Nolte, another legend.
Yeah,
Nick Nolte.
I think he's my favorite character in this
Yeah,
movie.
Nick
he's a
Nolte
huge
plays
legend.
Patty, and his dad. He's their dad. They both hate their dad because he's an alcoholic. He used to beat their mom, and their mom was terminally ill. So you can see where this drama's picking up, and they kind of hit every cliche topic here to like build a drama, but they didn't do it wrong. They did it really well.
I was gonna say they hit it, but it was in a good way.
Yeah, they didn't pry into each one. They used it just enough to build these characters, and they tied them all together. And so Tommy, played by Tom Hardy, he goes back to his dad, hates his dad's guts, but his dad used to be a trainer for MMA fighting. And Brendan goes to his friend, who is a trainer and a fighter, Frank Grillo, also from Captain America: Winter Soldier. Great actor, Frank Grillo, great actor, good guy. And hidden gem for him, go on Netflix, search Wheelman, great movie. Anyway, so they go to these guys to train, and they both start fighting to build up some money and get their stuff. And they both, eventually they find out that they're both going to this tournament called Sparta. Sparta's a tournament where it's basically like MMA, mixed martial arts. You go there.
Isn't it like 16 fighters, like the top 16 fighters or something like that?
Yeah,
They go
it's
in.
the Kumite of MMA. And there's a $5 million prize. And both of them need it for different reasons. Tommy, within the movie, he starts getting publicity for being a great fighter, and he's like the dominant fighter. Everybody loves him, thinks he's going to beat everybody. But a former Marine recognizes him and talks publicly about how he saved his life. Then the military finds out, oh, you're here, and they're going to come arrest him. So he says, hey, I'm going to donate this money to all the people who fell in my unit, and I'm going to give it to all their families.
A good
Great.
cause. Yep.
Good stuff. Brendan needs the money to keep his daughter alive so she
Another
doesn't
good
die.
cause. Yep.
Right. And they end up finding out. They ended up finding out that they're both in this tournament, but they haven't talked to each other in years. And there's such turmoil in their family because of their dad being an alcoholic, their mom being terminally ill, and Tommy, played by Tom Hardy, blames Brendan for their mom's death because Brendan ran off with a girl and got married. So there's a lot of tension, a lot of hate. And eventually in this tournament, they end up being, of course, the last two, and they fight each other. And it's just a great drama, really good action, and the fighting in this is legit. I mean,
Tommy Raises.
they put some legit training in this. But back to Bane. This is the movie that Tom Hardy did. This is the movie that Tom Hardy did that Christopher Nolan looked at and said, that's my Bane. I'm using him for Bane. Because Tom Hardy got huge.
Oh, was that why,
Huge in
really?
this movie. He got
That I
huge.
did not know,
Yeah,
actually.
he got huge. And Tom Hardy originally was a skinny guy, not big at all. And then he started changing himself for all these movies. But that is my favorite sports movie because it's not just a sports movie. I consider this a great movie all around for the way it was developed and put through.
I feel like all of us got good picks, so you didn't give me how many jabs you rate your movie, though.
10 out of 10.
Another,
10 out of 10.
Another 10.
Major League is a 10 out of 10.
You want
Class.
You can't. You
want
can't.
me to go?
get
There you go.
anything less.
8? All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it
Did you have a runner-up? Like, was there like another movie that you were like thinking about?
I had a couple.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go real quick. I'm going to go 9 for mine. Moneyball.
I think 9. Yeah, I can agree with that. I think you and I had the same.
Yeah. I think,
Which one is it?
Something you play in the sand.
Oh,
Sandlot. Sandlot was right there.
Forever.
What if I said Replacement?
That's a good one too.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Shane Falco.
Yeah.
Good
Stop
movie.
it.
Keanu Reeves.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
he's Molney.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
So there's a lot of good
10,
sports
8,
movies.
9.
Yeah, a lot of good sports movies. We just picked the ones that we like the most. Let us know what you would pick. Put it in the comments and tell us who picked the best one.
All right, we're out.